U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said on Tuesday that NATO will reinforce its presence from the Black to the Baltic Seas. The U.S. Secretary of State said during a joint press conference with Romanian Foreign Minister Bogdan Orescu that NATO is not going to be deterred going forward, but rather reinforces its presence from the Black to the Baltic Seas. Blinken also said that NATO is committed to building a modern and interoperable military and that will have benefits across the entire naval space, including when it comes to Black Sea.
When it comes to the Black Sea region, this is an area of vital strategic importance to us and to NATO. We have three allies that are literal states, as are close partners, Ukraine and Georgia. Russia has turned parts of the Black Sea into a war zone. We've seen missiles from warships coming into Ukrainian cities and towns. Russian forces, of course, have blocked Ukrainian ports, causing what has been the worst food security crisis in years.
NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said on Tuesday upon his arrival for a meeting of the alliance's foreign ministers that NATO allies are sending supplies and working to rebuild Ukraine's infrastructure. NATO foreign ministers will focus on increasing military assistance for Ukraine, such as air defense systems and ammunition, even as diplomats acknowledge supply and capacity issues, but also discuss non-lethal aid.
We have delivered generators, we have delivered spare parts, and the allies are in different ways helping to rebuild the destroyed infrastructure. We need to realize that there are enormous effects of the attacks. The Ukrainians are able to shoot down many of the incoming missiles and drones, but not all of them, and therefore these attacks has caused significant damage.
China will step up efforts to accelerate vaccination for elderly people, especially for those aged 60 and over, said an official with China's National Administration for Disease Prevention and Control on Tuesday in Beijing. Xia Zhang, head of Health and Immunization Department under the administration, briefed a press conference on the COVID-19 vaccination progress in China, noting that elderly people will benefit most from COVID-19 jabs.
Now the situation of epidemic prevention and control is severe and complicated. COVID-19 vaccines still have good effect in preventing severe cases and deaths. Vulnerable people, including the elderly, can easily develop into severe and critical cases if they are infected with COVID-19, so they will benefit the most from the vaccines.
The Russian Defense Ministry said that Russian troops are involved in military drills in neighboring Belarus. According to the ministry, the soldiers are undergoing intense training to counter a hypothetical enemy. Belarus's defense ministry announced on October 16 that just under 9,000 Russian troops would be stationed in the country as part of a regional grouping of forces to protect its borders.